All right. Did you guys hear that fancy voice?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad we can do all this without the fucking computer locking up. You guys being like, "Oh, we lost spam." I'm like, "I'll be back. Let me go to the other machine."
Knock on your desk there.
So far, all right, guys, we are recording Flying Monkeys Wargaming Podcast where Wargaming is easy. It would be your mom, Alex, with us tonight. What's up, Alex?
Hey.
Dunkalicious here,
Uncle's just is here
and the champ,
For once.
the
for
champ
once.
of
Get
Iron
outta
Halo.
here.
You hear the mouth in the background. Ben Sherwin, what's up, Ben?
What up?
Of Advanced Warfare, and motherfucking Dan Salmons. What's up, Dan?
The guy who copied Colin McDade's list and just changed it up a little bit.
Not even close.
You gotta get him wound up early.
Yeah.
But all right, so we're all fresh out of Halo. Alex is still on the tail end of doing GI Joe shit, so he could not partake in the Halo. But 3 of the 4 of us that went from this podcast actually had a pretty decent outing.
Okay.
So, Duncan, how you go 1 and 2 with AdMech, man?
Dude, yeah, day one was not good. Like
How was day 2?
even worse. Because I woke up at fucking 5 and headed home. So that was fun. So my kid wasn't doing very good. So my wife was freaking out and asked me to come home. And I was like, "Ugh." It was
Everything
fun.
okay though?
He is fine. Yeah, he does have RSV, but we're getting him medicated and all that good junk. So
kids are more resilient than people think. So
yeah.
Well, I'm glad everything's all right.
I think Duncan's proof that it's not.
Yeah.
I think I still want to know how Duncan pooped the bed with AdMech like that so bad on day 1. What happened?
Well, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and that's what I did, I guess. I had practice too. That was a thing. I mean, more than
let's
I
be real.
do
How much
for
did you
GT.
practice though?
No more than I.
Because you had 1 game
did.
against me.
I had like 5 or 6 before Halo, which is more than I normally do.
How close to Halo did you have the games?
Let's see. That Labor Day weekend. I'm trying to even think. I think it was 2 weeks before Halo. So maybe not as much as I could have, but or should have. But it's more than I normally do. But it doesn't matter.
Dan's over there trying not to laugh right now. So
hey, I had my shining moment at Show Me. I met my goal at Show Me. I went 4 and 2. So it just didn't go hot at Halo.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Gray Knights were heavily represented at Iron Halo. Some people straight up copied Ben's homework. Some people copied Ben's homework and changed it up a little bit so the teacher wouldn't find out. But Ben wound up
into dog.
What is he doing?
My dog was just eating something she shouldn't be.
Oh, it's the peanut butter off your balls.
Sure.
So,
yeah, it's on his dick now.
I wouldn't be looking around of like what you're getting at. If that was the case, I'd know.
Yeah. So it was a Grey Knights heavy. Orcs had a good showing. Most of the serious Orc players, Dan Salmons, and then Colin McDade, who did actually copy Dan's homework and mixed it up just a little bit. I think. How different was his list from yours?
It was worse.
Yeah, his words.
Yeah,
that's not what I asked, man.
It was worse.
I mean, the speedwogs have some similar builds, but when it comes down to like, somebody who actually plays orcs, understands them, so you can tell that he doesn't from his list.
So
you got a lot more MSU in your list, which is way better in the missions.
Yeah, I had more MSU. I had more Storm Boy. Like there's zero reason not to be maxing Storm Boys. And then I don't know what he did in his games as far as reserving, but my list was built to utilize reserves better than his was. So, and then the what do you call it? The Waz bomb. It's super expensive and it's pretty damn swingy. So I'm not a huge fan of it. So.
What the hell are you chewing on a pop bottle for, dog?
And then he also had the War Trike and the Bike Boss, which I don't know what you're getting. I don't actually know what value you get out of the Bike Boss now because he got kind of
He can strat and do mortal wounds. Didn't
Yeah.
you know?
Unless you're cheating with him, he's not worth it anymore. They nerfed the Killer Claw and they nerfed the double fight and all that other shit. So
let's get into that here in a little bit. Let's go through the top 10 from Halo and read the results. Number 10 was Jason Rogers, still out repping the Death Guard, man, showing they can be relevant. He did get one tie, but most of his tie was 84 points. So he had one game. It looks like it got handed to him, but he had a good showing. I went 5-1 at number 9. So I took 9th place. I started out pretty strong. I played a former Iron Halo champion and Nick Weiss and put a 90 on him. And then round 2 scored an 80. Round 3 scored a 70 something. Round 4 lost, scored a 60 something. And then round 4 scored a 70 something and won. Then round 5 scored an 80 something and won. So yeah. So I was a bar graph, but I had a good outing. You know, Grey Knights isn't I can't do like some of these other guys can do as easily. Like Ben can pick up a lot of different lists and be proficient with them from the start. You know, Dan can. I've seen Alex do it. I don't adapt to new lists as easily as other folks. So the fact that I picked up this army probably a month and a half before Halo and started getting reps and came out 5-1, I'm pretty proud of myself. I think that's a solid showing. And
9th place out of like 100 people is really good.
So I appreciate that.
Unless you're fucking Duncan.
Yeah.
That'd be spectacular.
And number 8, Connor McCormick. Dude, that guy torched a couple people, man. I like, you know, and Connor's like, you know, just this nice dude, you know, laid back, and he put a couple streaks on some folks. But he went 5-1. He lost round 4. Managed to pull it out.
Drukari, right?
Or round 5. What's that?
Drukari.
Yeah. And then Kyle, dude, this one was impressive.
Torched him.
What's that?
I torched Connor.
Did you?
That was his loss.
Yeah, he put one on Mark Newson that was pretty bad. I was like, yeah. But the one who impressed me was Kyle McCord at number 7. Did you see his list? Like his list was like straight Imperium jank. And that dude rolled in and out of there at 5-1, man, and took 7th place. And also, Kyle, if you're fucking listening, managed to edge me out of the top 10 of Lord Marshall. So I was number 11 at the event because Kyle fucking jumped me. So Tyler DeVries had a good outing, other than the fact they had to run into Ben round 2. He went 5-1. And Cookie took the L round 1. And then it was either 90s or 80s the rest of the way. So fucking Cookie still showing Custodes can do the thing. And then Tim Royers, who wound up playing Ben round 6. All of them were wins except for versus Ben. And then Dan motherfucking Salmons took the L round 5. And then Colin McDade undefeated at number 2. And the champ, Ben Sherwin, at number 1, streaking it out. So start out a little bit slow round 1, but the rest were 90s, and you got a hundo in there, man.
God damn. You were 7 points away from getting max.
Yep.
600. God bless America.
And the interesting thing about that is if you go and look at a strength of schedule, Ben had like the worst strength of schedule, not the worst, but the toughest strength of schedule out of everyone else in the top 10. So that's pretty impressive.
That's right here, Salmons, in your fucking leprechaun of pairings.
So I mean, usually I end up higher than you, I think. So.
Yeah. But Dan doing the
what's
thing.
that? You end up higher than me? What I finish in Lord Marshall, bitch?
No.
I mean, when you go to more tournaments than I do, that's expected. So.
No, all I hear is you gargling your own balls. So.
There's a friendly rivalry here. If you folks hadn't figured that out, so
I mean, Dan gets me over pretty much every time we play. I beat him once, so we've played like 7 times.
Well, did you go first this time, Ben?
I didn't play Dan. Tim took him out for me.
Oh, Tim.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
He paid Tim off.
Yeah.
Tim Tesla Royers. So he had a good showing. That list was he ran the Big Daddy, man. Made the Big Daddy work all weekend. I hadn't seen that thing on the table in a minute. So, do you know if he's keeping that in his list?
Cookie asked him, he's like, you had a bad game with the Castellan all like in the last 2 events? He's like, nope. So
Okay.
he rolled real good with it versus me. So I assume he's going to keep running it.
Yeah, that thing.
Got a Dread Knight turn 1 against me.
Yeah, I can. We can explain that. We'll talk about my game, and then that'll lead into your final game, and it'll explain Tim's massive error. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah. He played it ridiculously conservative versus me, and like didn't even move it up to like turn 3, and it almost cost him the game. So then I think he kind of overcorrected and decided to play a little too aggressive.
He YOLO'd it in, huh?
But Ben killed it turn 1. So yeah.
Oh man.
Right then.
Yeah, John Cena came in, baby.
Yeah.
Fucking that guy.
3-second tan.
Oh yeah. Duncan loves that dude. Don't
No,
you,
he's a
Duncan?
fucking. I hate that guy. Asshole. That power is so ridiculous.
You know what's funny about that is like the John Cena Dread Knight. Like you'll tell people what he does,
You have
and
to
like
see
people
it.
will still shoot at him or make the mistake at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
make
it's-
any sense to me.
And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like I told you what that guy does, and it's like you're still gonna do it. Okay, cool.
On the flip side, on the mirror match, I have had Grey Knight players like Tyler put his right in front of me, like, I'm just gonna run away. I'm like, I'm gonna charge you with a lot, not shoot it, and then kill it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's powerful. I think you have to ride that thing until Chapter Proof drops this winter if it drops, because Dread Knights I think are a little bit undercosted, especially after
It
playing
turns
them.
out.
They can do a lot for the points. I guess my game's probably aren't as excited as you guys because you guys were a little bit higher up on the tables than I was. I had some really good opponents. You know, I went through and like I said, Nick Weiss, good dude. Love him and his dad. You know, we had a good game. You know, and Nick's always talking shit, so I always joke about him dodging me at tournaments. So I had him wound up a little bit for this game, and we played it, and I got the W. And I walked by, and one of the guys from up there was calling old man Weiss on the phone. I said, "Hey," I said, "tell Mark that I'm Nick's new daddy." And so yeah, we'll see if the message gets relayed at some point. And I can't remember what the fuck I played round 2. What I play round 2? Yeah, I know round 3 was Grey Knights. Round 2 was Dan Cornwell. I played Cornwell with his Death Watch, and I was a little worried about that list.
Watch.
What's that?
That's a bad time for Death Watch.
It is. You know, I was a little worried about the Volkites because he had double Volkite, double Redemptor, but like Drago just started touching stuff and killing it, and you know it was a bad time. So, and he had everything kind of bunched up because he had like a fire base, and once I got into his fire base, it's really all it took. So, but I like Cornwell, dude. We had a fun game. Cornwell's one of the nicest guys you'll play on the tabletop, so we had a really good time. Round 3, I did not want to fucking be on string, and I played some dude named Bob, and I think his name's Bob because I probably couldn't pronounce his real name, but we had a good game. But I told Josh I didn't want to be on stream. They put me on stream anyways because I can't hear worth shit. And I managed to squeak out a win. I think it was 76 to
close.
73. It was close. It was 3 points. One turn I denied him on the primary and got him. He only could get 5 points, and I think that's what pretty much won me the game. You know, so for those of you guys out there that get caught up in like trying to kill everybody's shit, you know, or trying to, you know, just be the ultimate destroyer on the tabletop, you know, stop, take a breath, think about the mission, and you know, think if you can maybe fuck somebody out of 10 or 5 points by what you're actually doing sometimes. And that can be really big. It came up huge for me in that game. And then round 4 is when I took the L. Steven from Rolling Sixes, really nice dude. He had more Dread Knights than I did. But I just couldn't seem to get shit going that game. But he was a good player, dude. We had fun, had a good time. His girl came with him. She like seemed like she enjoyed watching the 40K games. And then round 5 was a guy named Thomas from Team Texas, and he was playing Death Guard, and a lot of firepower on that list, which is surprising, but I managed to get it. And he was a cool dude, in spite of being like, I think at first he was a little bit guarded with me, and then he kind of chilled out as the game went on, and we had a good time. So it was a good game, a good time. And then round 6, I got to play Reinhardt, and Reinhardt or Fong, whatever I think he was registered as Fong this time. So, but beautiful painter, dude. Dope looking army, and he had the motherfucking Atreus. So the Atreus had me a little bit worried about the baby carriers, because they can't hold up to too many of those. Like he got to go, and sure shit, it was me picking a Dread Knight up off the board. So, but I managed to get over and treat the Atreus like a pair of Chinese finger cuffs with 2 Dread Knights, and it didn't last very long after that. So, and the way the terrain was, he didn't have many places he could move or put that thing. So it worked out for me. But wound up at 9th. You know, like I said, I had 6 really good games, 6 really good opponents, and I just had a really good time for the weekend. So I really wound up not being in contention for podium, but you know, I still played for pride, team points, and record, and you know, I think I walked away doing all right. So that's what my takeaways are. I got to see you clowns, which is always fun.
Yep.
But I guess Ben and Dan, however you guys want to do this, because you guys' paths were kind of intertwined, and as far as opponents and relations between what was playing out at the top. So however you guys want to go, and I'll just let you guys go to it.
I can just knock out mine pretty quick. So round 1, I played against Colby, and he's playing kind of not a standard admech list. He was really heavy on the Vanguard, which sucked versus all my vehicles. So that was a pretty one-sided game. He didn't kill very much, and I tabled him, I think. So I think I scored 98 on that one. Round 2, I played against Peyton Harris, playing like melee-oriented Tyranids.
Did he go poop in
Yeah,
your
he
game?
plays melee nids.
No, but well,
No,
I mean,
he didn't go to the bathroom for 30 minutes?
no. The
Oh,
game was
okay.
the game was over pretty quick.
Okay,
So,
he does that.
so
a
I
lot.
got I think I scored 100 versus him. And then round 3, I played Eric something, Darius, or he was playing Sisters. And yeah, so this one was kind of made me feel a little bit dirty, but not really. He had 2 Sacrosanct squads, 2 10-mans. One was guarding Celestine, one was guarding Vol. I told him how the Burnabama worked, but it's still pretty hard to defend against. And so turn 1, the Burnabama went over, dropped the bomb, and I ended up killing 6 of the Sacrosancts that were guarding Vol.
Oh,
So then the
God.
Squig Buggies just killed those last 4, and then top of turn 1, 2 Met Guns and a Daka Jet shot Vol and killed her. so that was
God damn.
that was pretty like, or the Speedwog list just beats the shit out of Sisters. It's pretty bad.
Oh no shit! It's all strength 6 -2.
Yeah, they're all like T3. Like, you got people aren't running enough rhinos in their lists. That's what I told them. I said, you've got to run more rhinos, because I don't break through the rhinos super well. But that was pretty bad. And then round 4, what was his name? I played against Mason. Yeah, Mason King playing Grey Knights. It was pretty bad. Another 100. It took a while to kill some of his stuff, but you know, I think turn 1 he went first, moved up pretty aggressively, and then I picked up like 15 of the interceptors and maybe I think a baby carrier too. So, and I just like the one teleporting Grandmaster, I just left him to last. So, but
He's
Grey
never
Knights,
gonna kill enough shit to come back from losing the rest of his army.
yeah, like if you, all I have to do is play a little defensively with the planes to not give them, you know, a ton of free shooting, because a lot of Grey Knight shooting is just shorter range, and as long as you don't like go in the middle of their entire army, it's not that bad. So, and then round 5, so up to that point, I had scored 398 out of 400 battle points, and that was like literally the max I could have scored because my first game I could have only scored a 98. But anyway, and then round 5 was against Warriors, and he's playing as Castellan and Admech. So he went first. The short version, I mean, so the game started out, he had his Castellan pop off and roll pretty dang good because, you know, and in my head, I'm like, well, he's hitting on 4s, even with the Raven rerolls, it shouldn't be that bad. But he proceeded to, 8 shots with the plasma cannon and hit 7 of them. And then he rolled
Ugh.
6 shots with the volcano cannon and hit five of them. Yeah. So he picked up 3 planes on turn 1, and then on my turn, I don't even remember, but I did some stuff, kind of pushed up the field. But Tim was making a pretty critical error of not advancing up the board, and I had like, I don't know, a huge part of my army in reserve, so he wasn't making a play for primary, and because I had second, I kept like my bikers and some other stuff back to run and get objectives at the end of the game. And so he finally realized his mistake and started moving up, and it was maybe a few little things. If anything would have gone my way, it might have been able to flip the game still. So, but like I said earlier, he was playing way too defensively for what he should have been doing there. To the game was still a game because of that, and it was battle line, so it was only the 4 objectives. And then but he ended up winning that one like 68-56 or something like that, like a little over a 10-point game. And then the final game, I was supposed to play against Nick Weiss, but he dropped and to drive home. So I got paired against Brett, the Texas guy, the Catachin. And so
Which
I
Brett is it?
he's the guy that looks like a Catachin.
Brett Urbanowski or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, super tall, super ripped.
Yeah.
Nice dude, but it was funny. I kind of said this earlier. He was we were talking. He's like, man, I really need to go first. And in my head, I'm like, well, it's a bunch of. He had like 3 mana cores and 3 tank commanders, and I'm kind of like, well, you're hitting on 4s and 5s. Like that's just not. In my head, I'm like, even if you go first, I don't think you're going to do that much. So then I ended up going first. I think I killed a Lehman Russ and like a Chimera. And then he proceeds to go on to his first turn, and his first shooting attack, he's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot this thing, and okay, roll the hit and re-rolls. And I'm like, re-rolls from what? And there was a Yarick hiding behind a building, and I didn't bother to read his list. So that was scary. And Yarick really skews the fucking math on that matchup. And so I think he actually killed the most shit out of anybody I played against. But I was able to just keep throwing things at him I screwed his primary really, really bad. So I think they ended up getting like a 94 to 93 or something to 60 something, but it was all because I think he only scored like 20 points on primary. So I had 2 turns where I got him to 0 because of Storm Boys and stuff like that. So, but so it was a good event. But I think I'm gonna make some little tweaks to give me, if I come into the matchup where it's like, okay, like against an Admech Gunline or a Castellan, to try to come up with a plan that doesn't revolve on going first. So, but I had scored so many battle points that I was pretty much impossible. I took a loss, and Ben only had a couple more battle points than me. So
Sound like it was almost talking shit, man.
I won. He didn't.
you want? I'm fine to play that matchup out. It's
I don't give a shit. I'll play that matchup too.
you were sitting there. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're scoring too low, so you can try to dodge me. But it's all right. It's all right.
Scoring too low. You want to know why my score was so low first round? I'll tell you why. Because I'm an idiot. So first round I'm playing. First of all, I didn't know who this guy was. I should have known who this guy was. He's like 11th in the ITC. My first round opponent. Mark that down. Salmons 11 ITC first round. Fuck you. He's playing Thousand Suns, and I've read the Thousand Suns book. I've theory crafted, made a list, never seen them on the table. And it was kind of eye opening because like he I picked a really bad secondary because I was just like, I don't want to do my psychic action secondary against all those denies. And I picked teleport strike, which turns out is not great against Thousand Suns, which
Is that
can
a Grey Knight
live-
one?
Yeah, that's like I gate, teleport shunt, or come out of deep strike. And if I kill a unit, I get 3 points.
Hmm.
Well, rubrics are not easy to
Yeah.
kill.
I was
it's
gonna-
not. Yeah.
So
You have MSU, right?
yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
everywhere on the board. That's what won
Dude,
me
this-
the game.
I'm telling the psychic action is money against Thousand Suns because they don't have enough denies. And then you're like,
I realized that later.
yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, it turns into like, well, you can deny my psychic action, and I'm going to do like 20 mortal wounds to your Terminators.
Yeah,
But
you could
don't
not.
T-Suns have Auspex as well?
They do,
do.
but not in the fucking psychic phase, so it doesn't matter. That's
So-
it's why those actions, the T Suns one and the Grey Knights one, it's why they're fucking stupid because you can never do anything to stop them. Like there's no recourse for it.
right. So I even started doing my psychic actions in the game. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Psychic, my purify." He's like, "You didn't take that secondary." I'm like, "Oh shit."
You're right.
Oops.
And then like I gravely underestimated this he had a plasma contemptor with missile racks. I gravely underestimated how good that thing is at Thousand Suns.
Yeah, all those like single stout ass models are really good. Like Leviathans are still great in Thousand Suns. Like,
Right.
they
But
really
he
are.
was hitting on twos, re-rolling everything.
That's right. Yep.
And with damage 3 plasma, it was enough shots where my Dread Knights were buttholes were puckering every time it was shooting at them.
Yeah.
But
My Leviathan will kill a Dread Knight immediately. It's like not even. It's like a foregone conclusion. So
right. But luckily I had my sigil guy, which he never wanted to shoot at because he'd just leave. But I don't know. He either had to make a choice from the way I played that he could either shoot me up primary or he could deal with my Dread Knights. And so he chose to shoot me out primary, and I ended up just squeaking it out because I was literally going around strangling everything with Dread Knights. But had I not taken teleport strike, would have been as close. But that was my hardest game next to Tim's. I mean, Tim's could have been really bad, and I'll get there. Round 2, I played Tyler DeVries, who's 17th in the ITC. Also got like 5th. Fuck you, Salmons. And we played on the scouring, and I got to go second, which in that matchup, I think second is favorable. First is good too, but I think against another Grey Knight person, that going second is pretty big. He shunted his whoop dude right in my face, like, haha, shoot him, he's just gonna leave. And then I was like, I'm gonna charge you with 2 Dread Knights. And like, sure, you might get something off after the interrupt, but you're gonna be hurt. Probably won't do that much damage. And my hammer chick ended up just picking him up, my hammer Dread Knight. So he lost that guy with pretty much no recourse. And then he made an error where he forgot to swing first with Inceptors in the middle on the scouring and swung with a Dread Knight first. And I interrupted and killed all the interceptors. And I scored 15 primary on turn 2 on the scouring. And then from there, he never recovered. So he just didn't have enough units to trade because when we were like mirror matching and he's got the more infantry, he can't really lose that infantry fight because he's losing the Dread Knight fight as well. And I stayed in shadows pretty much the whole time because I'm like, I'll have a 3-up save versus Dread Knights. Yes, please. And then round 3, I played fucking Charlie Andre, who's 6th in the ITC. Thank you.
God damn.
And Drukari just do not do well into Grey Knights.
they do not.
My shooting is just really good at it. I can take down raiders with the Grey Knight with the Grandmasters, and then when they do their big multi charges, if they're not making me fight last, I'm interrupting and vaporizing something, and I just trade better than him. And I got first turn and did nothing, and that was really scary. I put 6 wounds on a raider with 5 DKs. Yeah, and then but my later turns turned out to be just straight gold. So I pulled it out pretty hard. Day 2, I played Knights, Steven Henderson, which he lost 2 Knights, top of 1 or bottom of 1, and that pretty much just sealed that game. My hammer guy was just insane that game. He put 20 wounds on a knight. And then round 5, I played Connor McCormick. I think if he plays that game again, he's not going to do as bad but he left an entire flank open for me. So I scouted forward with 2 Dread Knights, and then I shunted and gated over, and I could see every single raider with a Dread Knight. And when I can do that, it's like I can just pick which one dies and then kill the stuff inside. And then the other mistake was he put both squads of incubi in the same raider. So I just killed that raider, killed all the incubi, and then I was just like, cool, now I'm just gonna shoot raiders after all that's dead. And then round 6, I played Tim. Tim got way too aggressive with his Castellan. If he had sat back, I think he doesn't need to shoot me turn 1, I think. And if he waits until I come out to deal with him, because he can screen me out with all those AdMac that are buffed with the bulwark and everything. He's probably going to push me back, but he got aggro with the Castellan, and I shot it down to 4 wounds left, and then had charged in. I had to make 2 9-inch charges, one to stop the Overwatch, or I'm going to have to pop the 3-up invuln and try to survive the Overwatch with the Grandmaster who was charging. But luckily, I stuck both because I was lucky. But taking the Castellan off of the board turn 1 probably not probably it won me the game because his clap back he killed 2 Dread Knights with just his ground forces chickens. So if you couple that with he killed 1 turn 1 with the Castellan, that's why he got so aggro to get an angle. And if you couple that with, you know, say that Dread Knight doesn't die, but you kill 2 with just the rest of your stuff, he's killing 3 to maybe 4 Dread Knights because I have to expose myself. I think I lose that really badly. Unless I can get my, you know, units up into him. But we just played the trade game and I ended up like just pushing him off his 2 objectives on retrieval. And that really just sealed the deal for me. He also misplayed his Ruststalkers. They were in the middle where my interceptors could get at him really easily. And I thought he had the fight last relic for where they were deployed. I was terrified of them. And I'm like, okay, I have to go in there with 2 squads. And he's like, I'm like, do they have the fight last relic? He's like, nope. And I'm like, all right. Just 1 squad it is.
I heard him talking about definitely putting that relic in his list later.
That relic is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Well,
surprised he didn't
and
take
Grey
it.
Knight halberds are designed to kill them motherfuckers. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my tournament experience. It was a great time.
well, good. So some things Dan has some things he want to talk about tonight too.
Oh,
You still up for it? Or you
Yeah, I mean, so we were round 2. I see something I don't think I've ever seen before. I can't think of a time. It's not something I ever look for, but I've never seen anyone do this before. So round 2, waiting for the games to end, walking around, and we see McDade's game is almost done. So I'm standing there watching it, and their clock is right there. So McDade flips makes an attack, flips the clock to his opponent, and then his opponent, goes around, picks up some models, and then I'm sitting there literally right behind the guy. He picks up his dice for his next attack, looks down at the clock, makes sure it's running on his opponent's time because his opponent is across the board picking up shit, and then rather than flip it back to himself before he makes his attack, I literally watched him take it down and then starts rolling dice on his opponent's time. And so I'm standing right there and I was like, and they're both very low on time. So, it's kind of a big deal. And so I just reached over and hit click and clicked it. And he's, oh my God, you can't do that. He's like, I'll go get a judge. I was like, fine, I'll go get one for you. You piece of shit trying to screw your opponent out of their time. Just fucking pissed me off. That
Did he not fucking just see you standing there? Like,
I don't know, but it was like I've never seen anybody. I've seen mistakes with clocks happen, but I've never seen somebody actively pull that bullshit of literally look at the clock, and don't even get me started on where this clock was placed. I don't know why it was in this corner that it was. It was very, usually the clock's on the side of the table. This one was like in the corner facing outwards, so facing him away from his opponent. But anyway, I've never seen anybody do that. So, but that was kind of shady. And then there was some other bullshit. This kind of problem. You go pick up if you're gonna meta chase, get your practice games in so you don't have some questionable accusations of your stratagem usage, which he had after his game 3. So I don't know the full details, but there was I know there was a lot of judge talking after the fact. I don't know if anything happened from it, but to me, from what his opponent told me, it sounded like he misplayed one of the stratagems and some other stuff. But it's just annoying to see that shit still. Like I feel like we were doing pretty good. I say that, I feel like we were doing pretty good. There hasn't been much, at least in the Midwest, not too much, but certain people have been a kind of a common problem with some judges have brought them up. Him
My
being one
question:
of
did
them.
you get a
but
yellow for touching the time clock?
no, I told him, I said, I'll take a yellow. So
I knew you would.
I was like, I don't care. I mean, I'm sick of that shit. People like that. You go fuck yourself. Just don't come to the events. Go do that shit on the East Coast or West Coast or stay in fucking Texas to do that shit. But it just beyond pisses me off when people are that level of gaminess, and as somebody who plays the orc list, bro, get a fucking dice tray, get some dice cups, and learn to play the list fucking faster so you don't have to fucking cheat like that. Like, it's a very time intensive list. None of my games went to time though, because I've practiced with it enough and made some adjustments, and do, understand the rules so I don't have to sit there and look things up. But it just more bullshit. So, but I think other than that though, I don't think there was too
Yeah.
much.
I only had one chess clock thing come up, and my opponent, I think, was getting low on his time, so I think he got really nervous. And the whole game, like, I'll play the chess clock however you want to play it, but however we play it, I don't care. We just need to do it consistency, and both of us are doing it the same.
Mhm.
Like, if we're rolling saves on my time, that's fine. But when it comes to your turn, like, we're rolling saves on your time. That's just kind of how I handle it. And and I'll go through my turn and score at the end of my turn. And I usually don't care if my opponent rolls saves on my time. If as long as they're doing it like in an honest manner, it doesn't
Yeah,
bother
not like
me.
one at a time, like
Right. Yeah. So, but we got to like turn 4, and he was down to like 6 minutes on his clock. And I went to roll some saves, and he hits the clock and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to put that on your time." And I went and hit it immediately. And I said, "Yeah, no, we're not. We've rolled time on each other's, saves on each other's turn the whole game. We're not going to change midstream." And the only response I got out of it was fair enough. And I was like, cool. Like, we went about our business, had a good game. And that was like the only chess clock discussion that came up. And the dude was super cool when I was like, nope, we played it this way. We're going to continue to play it this way. And, I don't think he did it to I don't think in his mind, like, he was being diabolical. I just think in his mind, like, he was panicking about his time.
Yeah,
And like, that was just the spur of the moment solution. And, and then when I reminded him that, like, hey, we played this way the whole game, we're not going to change it midstream. Like, he went right back on track and was cool about it. So other than that, I really didn't have any in-game issues. Like, even the judges calls I had, they weren't really like contentious judges calls. It was more like, can that unit see this unit because I'm saying no and he's saying yes, and we're being cool about it. We just want an official judgment type of deal. And that happened a couple times, but it seemed like it was relatively good otherwise.
The one thing I see, it happened. It doesn't happen often, but it happens enough that it makes me laugh. There's people, like, when they're done with their turn, they're like, all right, I'm done, and they'll flip the clock, and they're like, okay, what are my points? I
Yeah.
was like, well, if you want your points, it's on your time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't flip the clock until you get that figured out.
Yeah.
But,
That's,
yeah.
I think if guys spend enough time on top tables, they have good clock etiquette in most instances that I've seen.
I'm the worst. I'll leave it on my time all the time.
Are you really?
Yeah, well, I don't ever run out of time. The ad mech, I
Yeah,
got
I'm the same
pushed,
way.
but
Yeah.
usually they're like, hey man, it's on your time. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
It
I do the
happens.
same
It's
shit.
my fault.
'cause
Click.
I usually play like a 30-minute game, like
Yeah.
on my time. So
I
Yeah,
made some tweaks to my list, and the entire weekend, I don't think I even shot the squig buggies. If it wasn't the squig launchers, I didn't waste time rolling the dice and stuff like that. and I had no time issues. So, but I think we only had one judge call about the ad mech my first game, because the what's the stratagem to go back into to go back not
Booster
into deep
thrust.
booster thrust.
Yeah.
It says you can come on in your next movement phase, but it says so it gives you the can optional, but it says in your next movement phase. So I don't actually, and then the judges looked at it and decided that they had to come on next, because it doesn't actually put them back into strategic reserves or anything or deep strike. It just lets him. So that was the only judge call I think we really had
Yeah.
the whole weekend.
I did have somebody. I did have to call judge once because a guy said that I can only do purifying ritual once per turn. I'm like, why would I pick a secondary that I can only score 5 points on? and the judge had to come over and tell him that, like, no, he can do it multiple times. So, but it was good. I don't know. I am kind of sad the Halo's going away for at least now. But I kind of like the old venue better. I mean, to be honest, I know we were packed in that motherfucker, but it just seemed like the ambiance and the fun was a little bit higher in that old building.
Yeah, not worried about asbestos falling on me.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the pooper at the old place was awful. That's
Dude, the bathroom at the place that we were at this time was rode hard. I mean, that bitch was 8 inches diameter.
Yeah.
At the end of
You had to go to the
thing.
secret bathroom in the back of the building.
That
out there
one
where
was a
Dan was
secret.
smoking.
I went there the first day I came in there. I was like, I'm gonna take shit before it starts. Dude, I don't know what somebody was in one of those stalls for like pretty long.
You're talking about the ones through the double doors?
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. We're rode hard.
But yeah, there was. I like that venue better because
Dan, you know who it was because you came in after I did, so that was me. Yeah, I was peeling the paint off
No, it
the
wasn't
walls.
you. It was somebody else, but the one next to you.
Oh,
The toilet seat was broken. I could definitely tell somebody slipped while they're pushing.
See, the old venue though, I remember the people in the other gym didn't have chairs.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing my first round on an air hockey table with the goal,
the bar over the top.
bar right in the middle of it.
Dude, I kind of like that air hockey table. I had a couple games on that sucker.
We just didn't play on that third of the table because it was too annoying to play there. So
yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia attached to Halo, and I'm kind of sad to see it go, but I'm also looking forward to the next season and seeing what happens. So, but everybody did pretty good. I don't know. It was cool to see like all the Midwest guys representing and doing well. And I root for people that aren't on my team. And
just sad Lennon didn't come, so I could dick punch him with Grey Knights.
Yeah, it was defend not in this house. So that's probably enough for this week, unless you guys got something else you want to add or throw out there. Anyone else got anything?
I'll just say this: Team Texas, check your boy. Okay, he's wiling out.
Yeah.
I had a good interaction with somebody from Team Texas. Johnny's a good dude, and get your boy in line.
Yeah, I played. I think the one I played was Brett, and that was a good game. So
yeah, Thomas dude I played was pretty cool. So it was, I've had contentious games with some of their guys. They don't like me anyway, so I don't even know why I try. But it is what it is. And every team has guys that are peckerheads. For some of them, and some of them worse than the others. But
all right, that's true. We got Axel.
Yeah. So, oh Lord. But yeah, it was a good event. Good end of the season.
I think the funniest thing all weekend long. I don't know if you guys heard this story. At Flying Monkey, Axel got blackout drunk, staying with Charlie. Deadbolted him out of the room. The one that you can't get open.
Jesus Christ.
In the middle of the night, and Charlie's trying to get into the room. Oh no, this is at ACO, I think. Either way, it was
no, he did that. Was it? I thought that was Monkey he did that at.
It could, I think maybe it was, yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's sitting there like Charlie's pounding on the door. Axel cracks it open, looks at it, smiles, and then leaves, closes it, and falls and passes out in the tub for 30 minutes while Charlie's outside at like 3:30 in the morning trying to get back in.
That exact situation literally caused a fist fight with me and my roommate in college. There were hands.
I'm getting there. So there were some reformations that happened at Iron Halo. So Axel is staying with Charlie and Tyler, and Charlie went out to the bar after Saturday because he had a rough game with me. And he got hammered. He comes back to the room, looks at Axel sleeping, winds up, punches him straight in the dick while he's sleeping super hard, proceeds to be like, my shoe's broken, rips his shoe into like 3 pieces, tries to put on Axel's shoes. He's like, give me your shoes, I'm going outside. And then Tyler told me that like when they were trying to go to sleep, like Charlie just started slapping the shit out of him. And then
God.
the icing on the cake is they go down to breakfast. I'm coming down. Axel's there, and he's just like, and he's been sitting there. He's like, I got no sleep. Charlie beat the shit out of me all night. And he's sitting there with Tim Royers. And then Charlie comes down, just happy as can be. It was like, how you doing, Axel? And he's like, I hate your guts. He's just beaming. And it was just the funniest thing because Tim is sitting there like, it was by far one of the funniest things I've seen in a tournament. Just Charlie getting drunk, ripping his shoe to pieces, and then beating up Axel. Like play beating up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking
Oh,
clowns. So
Yep.
I guess I have a GW rant. Everyone likes those.
go for it, man. Let's hear it.
So you,
Classic
Bam,
Alex rant.
and Dan a little bit will be happy to know that it took them exactly up until their first releases for Age of Sigmar 3rd edition to add mech the game.
How so? Oh, the dragons.
Yes, the
I
dragons.
see. I don't even play that game, and I know about that shit.
Yeah.
The new dragons are that bad?
Dude,
My game
Yeah.
ended. I took turn 1 because you get to do that with that list. The game was over after my turn 1, and there was literally nothing he could do about it. Could not stop me. I got to do whatever I wanted. So the reason that they're stupid is they get a double move built in. So your first turn you move 24 inches,
What the fuck?
and then you get all the charges you want, and all of their shooting attacks just do straight mortal wounds, D3 or D6. Straight
Jesus
mortal wounds.
Christ.
Get fucked. Yeah, they're
And
ridiculous.
Sigmar's on the smaller table, right?
It's
Same
on the
size
same
40K.
size
Same
as
size
40K.
40K now.
Yeah. So fucking moving 24 inches and still being
Yeah.
able to charge with an asshole like that. God
The
damn.
dragon.
Dragging these nuts.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
I see
Got
what
him.
you did. Got him.
So
We picked
am
up
I-
Scott
am I-
Thompson's book or whatever from Jesse.
Yeah.
And on the way back, Cookie was sitting there with his little phone as I'm driving, like phone reading all this stuff because Scott was all jerking off about these dragons.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, after reading that, it's like you're not really trying to. If somebody's trying to encourage people to play AOS, you're not doing a very
You're
good
not
job.
doing a very good job. That army
Yeah.
is like, I played it the one time and I'm like, I was super looking forward to this army and I don't even want to play it because this is just going to be the most feel bad, stupid. And the thing about it is, right, because of the way Sigmar is, this isn't like an AdMech orc thing where like 50% of the time I'm going to go second. No, I'm going first 99% of my games and I get to do that.
It's still based on drops.
Yes.
Ah,
It's a
God
two
damn, that's
drop
so
army.
stupid.
Yeah, I remember Cookie just read those, and I had the orc book, and he was reading stuff like that. I'm like, none of this stuff sounds as good as those. Like,
Yeah, it's not. Nothing is. They're and they've like wrote them in such a way where like you can't fix them without making them unplayable, basically. Or
Dude,
something.
here I am. I got all my Soul Blight stuff painted.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait to get on the table with this.
know.
And then I'm like, oh, never
It's
mind.
like I said, I don't even want to play it. And there's like a lot of other cool stuff you can do, but that army specifically is fucking stupid.
yeah, and
It's gonna win every AOS event for the next 4 or 5 months. It's ridiculous.
How was your ride home, Salmons?
was good. We're driving through some middle. I don't even
Oh,
know where
fuck,
the
I
hell we
forgot
were.
about that.
What happened?
Would have been.
I blew past Salmons at like 15 over with Tyler's ass hanging out of
Yeah.
my back window.
Well, the best part is he's speeding like crazy, and then we're in some little town, and Cornwall's like, we're looking for somewhere to eat, and Cornwall's like, hey, those guys are at Subway, and so we backtracked. So yeah, and then we stopped, and the some of the KC guys were after you guys left, they pulled up in the same Subway, but it was you're going like mad, but you weren't very far ahead of us, so.
We saw some cops. We had to slow down.
Fucking cops. So,
Yeah.
all right, next
That's
week. What's that?
I said that Subway, they were probably pissed because when we got there, they were like packing shit up and wiping everything down.
Was it the one in the little town just like 20 minutes out of Bartlesville?
No, it was farther than that.
Oh, was it? Okay. I was gonna say,
It was in
'cause,
the middle of nowhere. We couldn't find anything for
It
like
was
20
probably like
minutes.
it was probably like 2 hours because it was like
because
in around
there's
8
one
o'clock.
attached to a truck stop that Neely and I hit that was about to close too. So
Yeah.
Just everybody ruining Subway's day. But,
Word.
well, let's next week we'll see what happens. We'll see if the GW universe burns down. But next week, start thinking. I'd like to talk about our goals for next season. I know, Ben, you're still trying to do you're on the hunt for ITC this season.
Mhm.
Dan, I don't think you're hitting LVO, are you?
I mean, I might do LVO, but
Okay.
I'm not doing. I don't have very many more events.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
so-
very many of the big ones. So
I'm judging LVO, so my season's pretty much done for as far as Lord Marshal's concerned. But I'll
well, Lord
Here.
Marshall's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lord
as far as
Marshall's-
Lord Marshal's concerned, I'm done. So
I mean,
Um,
ITC.
get it fired up. Get in October for Cornhusker up there in fucking Omaha. So
mhm.
And that's the last weekend of October is Cornhusker?
No, the
Second to last.
24th or something. Yeah.
23rd, 24th, I think.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but it's on the
No,
Bug
that's-
Eater site if you go
That's
look.
right.
But I'm gonna try and get
Same
up there for
weekend
that.
as SoCal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you going to SoCal?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So why would you want to go to California?
Look for poop and hobos.
Free heroin.
Yeah, free
Free
heroin.
People who are
Yeah.
bad at 40K but think they're really good.
Yeah, clean needles.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, last words. Coon, you got anything?
Bro, I got nothing.
All right, Delicious.
Next year, Monkey Con. It's
Monkey
gonna be the
Con.
crown jewel of the Lord Marshall.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't fuck it up or not. So
We will.
go check out Ben
We'll have
in
Eldar by
Advanced Warfare. Ben, you got anything?
No, man, I'm good.
All right. Dan, last words, man. You get the last words.
Fuck Yarrick.
Fuck you. All right. So,
That's good last words. Fuck. All right.
we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.